Robert. Hey, just before the commercial break, Brother Ruben had called in and made some really good points about addressing substance abuse and the drug game and things like that as well. Versus, well, not necessarily versus what we're talking about today in terms of services for those who've been impacted by crime and violence. One of my things that I would just say to that, because I didn't want to leave Brother Ruben hanging out there, is this. I'm a strong believer that we have to meet people where they are, but not leave them there. And so, in regards to thinking about the fact that there are hurting and broken people in our community, and those hurting and broken people turn around and hurt people as well. And so we have to be able to meet them where they are and provide the healing services that we're talking about today while also addressing justice as well. And because when you talk about substance abuse or even those who are in the dope game and selling drugs, etc., we're talking about choices. And we're also talking about exposure to perhaps drugs. We're talking about exposure to a lifestyle for which, in some cases, is difficult to get out of when you're raised in an environment where you just have to survive with limited choices and opportunities, which Brother Ruben spoke to as well. And so, what I'll say to that is, moving forward, what we have to do as a community is look at the resources that are available that provide those healing services that Ad Hoc, Warriors Network, Mom on a Mission, and others are providing, while also looking at systemic change and how we leverage opportunities where there's very little as well. And one of the ways that we do that, during a commercial break, I heard several ads for people who are running for elected office. One of the ways that we can do that is to make sure that our voices are heard at the polls as well, and making sure that those who we are casting our vote for understand the complex issues that our community is facing when it comes to violence prevention, when it comes to leveraging economic development in communities that we have been divested in for umpteen years as well. And I can go on and on and on, but I have 6 minutes left during this broadcast. So, Ruben, thank you for your call. Hope I addressed a little bit about what you were saying. But I totally agree with you, my brother, that we've got to focus on the root causes as well. But we also have to remember that there are still people that are hurting out here, and that we need to help them find a pathway towards healing as well as justice as well. So, April the 8th at 6 p.m. at Avila College, there's going to be the Crime Victims' Rights Vigil, if you will. And as Michelle has said, it's not just about the vigil, it's about these organizations that are coming forward, they're sharing resources as well, and then making time to honor the past as well as thinking about the future as well. Want to add anything to that, Michelle?
I think you summed it up really well.
Well, thank
I think
you.
you did.
Well, you have a petition here that is specific to your son's case involving of your petition.
Yes. Cody Seeger is the Senate Dr. Seeger, is who killed Madison Court. He confessed voluntary manslaughter, pled out to that. And because of a plea agreement, because the only evidence we had in the entire case was his confession, we had to accept 9 years. So, unfortunately, that meant that the 2 years that he was in prison, he was that time counted, and then now it's almost a year, and so now we're coming up on a time. May 1st is parole hearing number 1, and so we've got a petition, and we've got it. Bob's put it online in many different fashions, and if you message him on Facebook or email us at corysnetwork@gmail.com, we can send you a petition, and you can either mail it to the probation and parole office, or you can send it to our address as well if you get a hold of us. And I just want to point out that part of the reason that we have um, this particular petition is the fact that not only did he murder my son, but after he murdered my son, he committed 3 other heinous crimes.
Yeah.
And during that period of time, he got probation for the first one, he got probation for the second one, he got a 120-day drug rehab for the third one, and was out on that when he got caught and felon in possession of a weapon in a high-speed pursuit in a stolen vehicle. And then he confessed to Corey after 3.5 years.
Yeah.
So if you have any desire to help keep that kind of a person off the streets, and that's really what we need to do, is quit giving them probation for these heinous crimes. Let's get them in jail, and let's get them something that will actually help them, because obviously 120-day drug rehab did not help this kid.
Yeah. And that's something that we were talking during the commercial break about, that making treatment mandatory as a part of a sentence can also be difficult. And in the state of Missouri, I think the most you can tack on, where there's involuntary manslaughter, what have you, is up to, I believe, 16 to 18 months or something like that. I think it's at least less than 2 years. Maybe a little bit mistaken, but I would say it's no more than 2 years that you can tack on to it. And oftentimes, what we see, and I think Brother Ruben alluded to this a little bit too, is that those who are committing some of these crimes are either under the influence, or there's something related to drugs involved. And so making sure that people are actually getting the treatment that they need is absolutely important. And 120 days is certainly not enough to, especially if you've had a lifetime experience of using drugs. And
Exactly.
so no one's going to quit in that little bit of time. So we are almost at time as well. Remember, today is election day, so get out and have your voice be heard. Have your voice be heard at the polls as well. And again, you can hit up Corey's Network at corey'snetwork.org and find out more information about them. But we'll see you all on Monday, April 8th at Avila College at 6 p.m. Come by. I'll be out there. Shake my hand. Give me a shout out. And there'll be plenty of organizations out there that have information about victim services and other helpful information as well. And you get involved in thinking about how we move forward and bring hope to our community and invest in our future. Any last words?
The only thing is if you go to Avila, look for the flags. That's where we're going to be at. So if you shouldn't get lost too easily.
It's right there on the Warnell side.
Yes.
On Avila, at Avila University in Kansas City,